Yo, black man, what's happening, man? Let me get a swig of water before I start. Hold on. All right, so look, she called you a black dork, right? She called you a black dork. Now, first of all, in the title of the video, I called it Black Dork versus Fantasy Tyrone. Tyrone is not a fantasy. Tyrone is the living embodiment of the black community. Tyrone, Glocktavious, Ray, Pookie, Jay Fizzle, NBA Youngboy, right? Again, I made Jay Fizzle. I made his video on my channel a couple times. Jay Fizzle has 28. No. 28 or 30. I think Jay Fizzle has 30 baby mothers, 30 plus children. Guys like that are not a fantasy in the black community. That's the real living embodiment of what black women love, respect, cherish, give all their attention and affection, everything to. Everything goes to those kind of men because in their mind those men represent masculinity, strength, and I guess fortitude in the black community, even though those guys contribute nothing but destruction to the community, right? Now, again, they call you stuff like a dork, an educated lame, all because you decided to pursue a higher level of education. Do you need to go to college in order to make money? No. But are you more likely to make more money if you go to college, right? You're more likely to have a job that you actually want to do. You're more likely to have a work environment that you actually are comfortable with, right? Because guess what? That's the whole point of going to school. So you don't have to work physically hard. And again, any kind of difficulty you encounter on the job is all mental. It's not physical back breaking work. You're not on your feet on concrete 12 hours a day. You know what I mean? At the very most, okay, you sit in a chair for 8 hours. Yeah, that's very hard, right? Now, let me roll the video for you guys.
Types that hate each other. Okay, the black dork versus the hood dude. So what's the qualm? This dude is accusing this dude of taking all the women, making them into single moms and jailbirds, and he can't get any good women, or there's no good black women for him because they're all washed up single mothers. That's the argument. I'm gonna talk about how that's false. First off, it's kind of a cuck fantasy thing. Cause he's thinking about a woman he would love to be with and cherish, and he immediately has fantasy Tyrone into the whole daydream and blow the girl's back out and have kids with her. Daydream interrupted. You know what I mean? When they don't even attract the same women. First off, hood dudes, or I'm gonna say fantasy Tyrone, attracts bonnets and attracts the bad and bougie. Neither of those two he would even want. They are going to rob you, sir. When they mess around with dudes like this, these dudes get robbed and getting taken out, get eliminated, trying to play games.
Okay, boom. Now, first of all, she's calling this a pipe dream. Now, it's not a dream or a cuck fantasy. In the black community, right? There are about 42 million black people in America. It's more women than there are men. So I think it's about 20 million, 21 million women. So out of those women who become a mother, 77% become a mother with one or two children, if not more, by the age of 25 years old. That does not account for underage teenage pregnancy or women from 26 to 29 years old. And again, that's just between 18 and 25. Now, we do know that women who tend to have kids very early are coming from more economically challenging backgrounds, right? So technically they're in poverty, and pretty much, that's not a situation that most guys would want to be in. Now, she mentioned how those two guys attract different types of women, which I can agree to, right? But here's the funny thing about the black community and why everything is so skewed, right? We already know we have the fattest women on the planet. And in America, definitely, we have the fattest women on the planet. Big as hell. 80% of them are big as hell. I've been told you guys, if a black woman is slim, petite, slim, thick, even thick, but no, again, no stomach, everything is shaped up right, those women add tax because when she looks around, even within her friend group, she's probably the most attractive in her friend group, right? Compared to other black women walking around. If she's not young, guess what? They're fat, right? And don't let her have kids already, then it's already a wrap. So they already know the competition for them amongst other black women is actually it's not steep at all, bro. The competition is actually pretty easy. All you got to do is just remain childless and continue to be slim and in shape and don't cover yourself in tattoos. And guess what? You're a high quality black woman, especially if the facial structure is up to par too and the body's right, right? Then yeah, that's a high quality black woman. So even for the ones who aren't that extremely attractive, but yet still meet the other conditions, again, as black men, yo, a shorty can be average, just average, but guess what? She's thin, she's slim, petite, slim, thick. Yo, black men are going crazy because guess what? That remaining 80%, it's like, nah, I don't want that. I really don't want that. So that's why it is the way it is in the black community, bro. Yes, the educated, quote unquote, educated lame, the black dork, yo, he wants the quote unquote bonnet. He wants the quote unquote bad and bougie. And again, I'm guilty of that because I want those same girls too. Because guess what? The quality is up to par for the most part. In all cases, no. But even if a girl is average and you're thinking, okay, well, at least she's in shape and she has no kids, come on. You can't beat that. Knowing that you can't throw a rock in the black community without hitting a single mom. You know what I'm saying? So you're attractive or at least average, right? And you're in shape and you have no kids. Yo, most black men, you about to be thirsty, bro. You about to bum rush that. You about to blitz it like a route in all Madden or something, man. So yeah, most guys want that. Now she's saying that, okay, as a nerd, you don't really attract those kind of girls. And again, I can admit, I don't attract those kind of girls, right? The bad and bougie type, nah, man, it's always been a struggle with them. The bonnet, I don't even look for bonnets, but the bad and bougie type, yeah, I can admit that because guess what? The bad and bougie chicks, you looking for Glocktavious. The guys who I'm talking about all the time, he at the club, no money in his pocket, nowhere to take a girl back home to after the club. But guess what? Keisha may have her own apartment and he's going back to her apartment to fuck her, right? He got a moissanite chain, moissanite grill in his mouth, moissanite diamond watch, designer clothes, fake, or even if it's real, think about how much money guys are spending on clothes just to have sex. If the objective is to take the clothes off and have sex, why are you spending so much money on the goddamn clothes? But again, this is what we're up against, right? So she mentioned that the educated lame or the black dork, I hate using those words, man. You attract the girl next door, alternative black women, or the bookworm. Now here's the problem with that. The girl next door, it varies. Now I can admit, yes, I've met some attractive girls next door, but it varies too much. And again, she still has exposure to Glocktavious, right? Those girls still tend to have exposure to Glocktavious. That's where in the last video, you're talking about the fantasy, right? Those girls meet those kind of guys and it's like she's hooked on phonics, man. Like for real. Because it's not what she's used to, right? Her father is the exact opposite of the guy she's dating. That's why they don't ever bring those kind of guys around. That's also why I told you guys the story about the girl who graduated from university with the STEM major. And guess what? Her boyfriend was some tattooed up bum. Like, come on, bro. But anyways, yeah. The girl next door, she varies in looks. Sometimes she could be attractive, sometimes it's a hit or miss, but that's actually your best option. It just depends on where you grew up, where you're currently living, because the girl next door, like I said, she wants Glocktavious, right? Alternative black women, I mean, personally, that's just not my, nah, I'm cool off for that. The alternative stuff is just not really my wave. I guess maybe the hippie type girls fall into it, the spiritual rock, earth type Keisha fall into that archetype as well. And I'm not really into that as well either, bro. Then you have the bookworm. Okay, bookworm, like True, real deal black women who are bookworms. We know they don't read as it already is, right? You got the ones in university who tend to read, but they fall more into like that bad and bougie, high classy kind of girl. So, if they do roll around to like the black nerd, the educated lame, whatever, that's later on in life. It's not actually in the time period where it counts, right? And that goes back to that one video of that Randy Rosario chick on the stage with Anton Daniels talking about, yo, you wasn't getting pussy back then, but you getting pussy now. Yo, shut up, bitch. That's why niggas care about this shit so much, because you can't make me forget about the past, right? Yo, I'm gonna keep it a stack. And this is some real shit. And this is some real shit. When I was in university, bro, I never in my life saw so many black men single and alone. I never thought I would see that, bro. So many black men are single and alone. Even now, after university, you still see black men just what? Single and alone. Lonely? No. But if you're willing to lower your standard, you can have something, because guess what? Black women have shown the world that, guess what? Black men will accept you if you're fat. Black men will accept you if you're a single mom. So guess what? As a man, you're gonna have a black man, you're gonna have a lot of options with these fat, unattractive single moms. I just saw a video last night on Instagram, and I also made a video about it too. But a guy was saying pretty much, man, some old head told him, yo, like the girls that like you. Yeah, the ones that like me are fat, unattractive single moms. You know what's so funny, right? At one of my peak levels, bro, I'm talking max money, max superficial things, max physicality, right? Like everything was just at its peak. My options were so fucking low. And I'm talking about the quality, not the quantity. The quality was so fucking low. I'm like, it's no way, bro. It's no way that I am this high quality of a man and the options are so fucking low, black man. And I'm sorry, that's the reality. As you climb the ranks, right? As you level up, as you reach that mountain peak, if you're going to continue to date black women, your options actually get lower. It's funny how when I was with my moms, when I was no job, no money, again, I was never the type to flex, but again, no job, no money, just on my lazy bum stuff. I actually had higher quality black women compared to when I was at my peak. Compared to when I was at my peak, I'm like, yo, my nigga, what is this? That shit would throw you into a complete rage. But yeah, man. So when it comes to the alternative types, again, you probably you because the alternative girls rock the tattoos and the all the crazy piercings and they have strange interests. You don't even want those kind of girls. The bookworm, like I said, bro, I spent a lot of time in the library, on campus and after graduation, because guess what? I live near a library. It's quiet, it's peaceful, good place to spend some time. I'm the kind of guy, I actually go to art museums, right? Whether it's free or you pay to get in. I've done it before. I've been to conventions, right? You don't really have a whole bunch of like really intellectual black women who don't fit the stereotypical bad and bougie joint or the bonnet, who are actually attractive. They're pretty much on the lower end of quality, bro. Right? Threes and fours, maybe like some rough fives. So you sit back and ask yourself, like, damn, like, okay, to get a chick who's more so on the same mental wavelength as you have to lower your options. And that's what I'm saying. The black community is so skewed, because if you just to find a decent chick, bro, you gotta go through so many hoops and so many hurdles and so many quicksands. And again, I'm just talking about physicality, right? With them, we already know if Keisha looks good, she behaves and think a certain kind of way. First of all, she doesn't even have to be the most attractive, just average. Just average. Don't let her have some ass. We already know black women that have some ass have the worst mental possible. So it's already a wrap. It's already a wrap, bro. Like, This is what I'm talking about. But hold on, man. Let me keep going the video.
The type that's good for him gonna be the girl next door type. They go with him. Also the bookworm type, alt type, black nerd type. He refuses to look at or acknowledge these types, all
Black female nerds don't really date black male nerds like that. No, they don't.
of which would be terrified of Fantasy Tyrone. Okay, that would never even talk to that don't even walk or move in the same social spheres as Fantasy Tyrone. But he doesn't focus on them. He focuses on her.
You focus on the baddie because the baddie is actually like quality, bro. Some of those chicks you see in the library, like the black girls in the library, bro, she's fat. I've seen it with my own eyes, bro. Those girls be fat or they're like really chopped. You know what I mean? So it's like, come on, bro. Like I said, because the world has trained people to see black men as stepdads and accepting these fat women, it's like, come on, bro. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. I will not get with a fat chick and a single mom just to say, oh yeah, I'm smashing something, bro. Like, nah, I'm cool off of that. I'm cool. I'm not desperate.
His mind, he could have her where he wanted her, not understanding that she's innately dangerous to him because of the type of person he is. I have a friend that's bad and bougie. So she even took the quiz. It actually ended up getting bad and bougie. The quiz in my body, she took it. We was laughing about it. Years ago, she's talking to me. She's like, date one of these dudes, right? She's like, yeah, I'm gonna get my cousin to come in there and rob a spot. I said, what? Because it was so uncharacteristic. It was just like, where'd this come from? You just want to get somebody to rob his spot? I'm like, I mean, what are you talking about? What's in there? Yeah, he got some TVs. He got a couple TVs in there. I'm like, girl, the TVs is like $100, $200. TVs is not no hot commodities.
Oh, and like I said before, hold on. Of all the black women who ever become a mother, they become a mother by the age of 25 years old, 77%. These are not my numbers. They're on the CDC website. You can go and look it up for yourself. So again, when you factor in teenage pregnancy, when you factor in 26 to 29, most black women already have kids. So the bad and bougie chicks who actually look good, like, bro, you realize you don't really have much of a choice as a black man. It's as a black man, here what the reality is. You take whatever you can get because that's how fucked up the numbers are in the black community. You take whatever you can get if you want to have something. If you feel like your standard is high, trust me, you're going to have nothing, bro. And black men, hold on, I'm going to give you guys a secret. I figured this out about 4 or 5 years ago. Actually, I figured it out 5 years ago, but I mastered it 4 years ago. If you play the game the way how they play the game, black men, again, what's the way they play the game? You look to eliminate, not to select. So if you look to eliminate, trust me, yes, you will have pretty much no options. You pretty much will have no options. I'm going to keep it a buck with you, right? I'm going to keep it a whole stack. But you realize real quick that what it does is you actually learn what your standard is, not your standard when you fold and bend because you want to have some quick sex. No, you hold a real standard. Again, just ask these few things, black men. These are mine, but imagine how many girls I eliminated just off of these few things. Oh, word. My man told me he bad making music. That's a fact. Now, eliminate women off of bonnets, wigs and weave, being overweight, out of shape, tattoos, um, shit, just those three things. Bonnets, wigs and weave, tattoos, not being overweight, being in good shape, healthy shape. Again, you can factor in some other stuff. Again, going to the gym, right? Because you can still be a decent weight size and shape without going to the gym if she has that natural build for it. But you factor in going to the gym, you factor in her having similar interests and hobbies, right? You factor in the fact that her not being a single mom. Okay, how could I forget that one? That's probably the main four things. Hold on, let me rewind it, black man. I'm sorry. Not being a single mom, not being overweight and fat, no bonnets and no weaves, no tattoos. Just off of those four things, You know how many black women you eliminate? Anything after that tailors more into like how you and that girl might have any kind of common similarities. But outside those four things, black men, those four things alone will eliminate what, 85, 90% of black women. So just off of that, bro, you realize when you play the game the same way how they play the game, oh, you're not tall, or you not flashy, or you not a stereotypical nigga, you don't got no criminal background, or you not tough. Yo, black men, you already like, you know what I mean? They look to eliminate. And again, the same kind of guys who repopulate the majority of children in the black community, go look it up. After 30 years old, right? Because between 18 and 29, Glocktavious is repopulated in the black community. 75% Glocktavious, right? I'm sorry. Hold on. I got the number messed up. I'm sorry. Between 18 and 29, 25% Glocktavious knocks up 77% of black women who will ever become a mother. That 25% shoots up to 60 plus percent. That's a 45% increase. Hence why the black community already has so many stepdads. That's why it was so popular at one point. Now that you have Gen Z black men saying we don't want to be stepdads, black women have gone into uproars because guess what? Now we don't have a backup plan. So you either make the right choice now, or I guess deal with whatever consequence come with it later on. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, again, as a man, as you get older in the black community, your options are so fucking limited because you realize, damn, there are no good options, and whatever options are decent, she's taxing for it. Let me keep going.
I have a friend that's bad and bougie. So she even took the quiz. It actually ended up getting bad and bougie. The quiz in my body, she took it. We was laughing about it. Years ago, she's talking to me. She's like, date one of these dudes, right? She's like, yeah, I'm going to get my cousin to come in there and rob a spot. I said, what? Because it was so uncharacteristic. It was just like, where'd this come from? You was going to get somebody to rob a spot? I'm like, what are you talking about? What's in there? Yeah, he got some TVs. He got a couple TVs in there. I'm like, girl, the TVs is like $100, $200. TVs is not no hot commodity.
That's a fact, black man. You know what's so sad about it is, yeah, if you're an educated guy, a quote unquote black nerd, you mess with the bad and bougie chick or the bonnet, there is a possibility she can rob you. I made a video on my channel a while back. Did I make it or no? I was going to make it. I'll make it after this one. If you pay attention, right, when you look at these cases of black men being taken out by black women, and there was a recent video, salute to AC because he talked about it, but I actually meant to zero in on this particular case. It happened this year, right? Young black dude, right, in high school, breaking up with Keisha. Keisha killed him. Keisha really offed him for breaking up with her. And like I said, man, those same kind of black women, the bonnets, the bad and bougie, they mess with these Glocktavious, these Tyrone type of archetype, the J Fizzles, right? They mess with them. And because those guys are involved in criminality, those guys are the kick door specialists. Those guys are the jack boys. And it's so funny. Keisha will give these guys your location to come and rob you. Again, take your P5, take your TVs, take maybe some shoes out your place. Like, come on. Like, you're not even getting nothing of high value, but that's how poor those guys are. And that's how desperate those guys are to impress black women, that you'll rather rob the educated nerd who, he's not really in that line of, he's not in that line of criminality, right? I mean, really any criminality, right? He's living a square life. Why not go rob other dope boys? Why not go rob other robbers? No, you want to rob an easy target to impress a black bitch who's stupid as fuck and don't have no damn common sense, but willing to risk your life. Black man, I'm telling you right now, they mess with some of these guys and they get involved into the criminality, and guess what? Now their life is on the line. Yeah, now their life is on the line, man. Listen, I don't want to say too much, because then I might expose something, but trust me, black man, as you guys go through life, for some of you guys who are close around my age, if not older, I know for a fact You've seen these same black women go to jail for whatever crime they committed. Could be attempted robbery, could be conspiracy to rob, what's it called? An accomplice, murder, scams, extortion, whatever the case may be. They go to jail. So you will see this, black man. When you see cases of young black men or just middle-aged black men being taken out by Keisha, yeah, yeah. Or you got stories of the boyfriend killing another guy. It's never, I mean, sometimes you got Glocktavious shooting Glocktavious, but then you got, you know, protective simp being gunned down by Glocktavious. It's sick, it's twisted, but I mean, that's just the reality in the black community, bro. You don't really have much of an option. And as you get older, black men, it gets worse. It gets worse, man. You guys ever saw or experienced like a rock hitting your windshield? In the beginning, it's not too bad, right? But as the sun heats up the windshield and that crack starts to expand, right? It spreads out throughout the windshield, and by, depending on where you live, how big the rock was, how big the damage was, it's gonna ruin your entire windshield. So all it does, it just get worse over time, black men. When you're 18, you probably can't see how bad it is because again, the options at 18 for the most part are still pretty plentiful. At 18, yeah, I would say the options are still pretty plentiful. Fast forward, let's say you're 30 years old. Oh, it's a wrap. In just those 12 years, it's a wrap, black man. Shit, I honestly, not even 12 years. I say give it 10. If you're 18 years old right now, watching this video, fast forward 10 years, you're 28. I'm telling you, all your options for black women is done. It's done. Now, let me roll the last part.
Well, what are you talking about? He has a TV or two in there. What are you talking about? As I was in utter confusion about it, I realized something. The lane proximity ignited the taker gene. The bad and bougie genome activated the taker Rob because of the lane proximity. And I was like, these girls are actually dangerous for this dude. He got to play where it's safe. The ideology of fantasy Tyrone is not real.
Again, black man, here they go calling you lame because your interests are unconventional, because you're not the stereotypical nigga, because you learned how to read properly, because you learned how to sound out your words, because you learned how to do calculus 1, calculus 2, calculus 3, you have a high level degree, right? You have a good career, because you don't dress like the typical Pookie. Again, you wearing Jordans all the time, you sag your pants, you wearing a Cuban link, moissanite chain, you don't have dreadlocks, you don't have tattoos. Again, everything that's, it means nothing. It has no real weight. That's what makes you lame, black man. Again, remember, when it comes to dealing with Keisha, the more of a regular person you are, the more of a human being, right? The more of a authentic person you are, not a character out of a damn book or movie or TV show, right? Pretty much, if you're not Ghost from Power, you're not gonna have that high level of success with black women. You got to be Ghost from Power. But like I said, man, it is what it is, man. They talk about the girl next door. You don't see black men with the girl next door until later on in life. And if I'm not mistaken, sometimes those girls are even dating white men. The bad and bougie really aren't dating white guys. If you guys pay attention to the black women who do date white men, yes, it's usually the girl next door. Or maybe even if it's an attractive bookworm, that's who's dating a non-black man. Again, I told you guys before in my videos, I'm not really looking for no hood chick, the bonnet wearing chicks. Maybe the bad and bougie every now and then, but I learned a long time ago. The same bookworms, the same girl next door. I'm telling you, there is a Glocktavious fantasy about those chicks. They date those guys. They date those guys, right? And again, you have the wannabe version and you have the real version of Glocktavious. So does it matter if she date a wannabe or not? He's still corny. Like the real one, they still corny. So again, if she doesn't get the real version, she's happy with the copy and paste corny wannabe guy, right? And if not that, yes, they go after non-black men. That's the sad reality behind it. So black men, I told you guys before, open up your options, man. You realize real quick, first of all, you can be yourself. That's the best part about dating non-black women. You can be yourself. You don't have to be what the TV shows you. You don't have to be Ghost on Power. You don't have to be uh, a clown, bro. This somebody who's not going nowhere in life. When have you ever seen those type of archetype of guys go anywhere? Go look at Jay Fizzle. Would you want Jay Fizzle life? Would you want NBA young boy's life? Come on, bro. Kentrell Morris. Anyways, black man, you get the idea. I'm out. Peace.